Hi, this is Bodacious Gamer, and today I'm just going to talk about Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, the new IP by Fromsoftware. I got an hour and a half on the demo, and what I experienced, I believe I was at the Ashina Castle grounds, and what I experienced was a great game. So if you are a fan of Dark Souls or Bloodborne, basically any SoulsBorne game, you are going to have a lot of fun playing this game. Now, I've played Dark Souls 1, 2, 3 and Bloodborne, like I say, and I thought this was kind of a blend of the two. So no, you're not going to be going around with a shield and blocking like you would do in Dark Souls, sorry, but you will be parrying a lot, and that's kind of where the concentration of the combat will rely on you honing that one ability. Bloodborne, the likeness to Bloodborne will be the speed of movement, the dodging abilities, and just basically being able to move fluidly in the environment is really key. Now, parrying is definitely one of the most important aspects of this game. If you don't get the parrying down, you're going to find this game very difficult, because bosses and certain types of enemies have multiple layers to their health bar, and to be able to whittle their health down into the second stage or the third stage, you have to beat their posture, which is the new stagger system, basically, that Fromsoftware have developed for this new IP. Now, at the beginning of the level, there's lots of abilities you can do. You have like a new sling that lets you traverse the environment on a vertical level. It's really cool. The animation's nice, it feels great, and it kind of gives a new dynamic to the gameplay and the level design that obviously Fromsoftware have gone for in this game. The interaction with the trees and kind of how the snow kind of cascades as you land on it, or the branches wobble, is just a great little sense of detail that they've added into this game. Other abilities like sub-weapons you can use, obviously the axe, which is like a shield breaking weapon, throwing stars or shuriken, and you've got the flaming sword. Now, I know there's more of these weapons that will be available, probably progression through the story, and I don't know where the Ashina Castle grounds is based in the demo. I don't know if it's near the beginning, halfway through, whatever, but it's probably like earlier on in the game. Now, the normal enemies have just normally standard have one level of health, and they patrol or just stand on guard, and you can kill them outright if you get a sneak attack. And that's something I'll talk about in a bit, the stealth aspects of the game. There are certain enemies like the General Samurai, I believe he was called, and he is a two-level, like two-tiered health sub-boss, if you will, who you have to break his posture to be able to break him down into that second tier, and then you can kill him. But that takes a good, a while, either using the axe or the flame sword, or which is like a follow-up attack from the R2. So you use R2 to blow fire, R1 to swing your sword through the flames, and that actually sets your sword on fire, and that gives you the ability to do fire damage as well for a period of time, and that's a really cool aspect of this game. There will be different things you can do based on these sub-weapons that allow you to do extra damage based on those actions. So once you beat him, you move into the next area, and you've got the ogre. Now, the ogre's tied up initially, but it breaks out, and this is just this cumbersome, heavy, slow-moving thing that does a ton of damage. Now, some enemies can kill you in 2 hits. This is probably one of them. Now, I got killed by it at least twice, and then you kind of figure out, keep your distance, take your time, and you can actually, if you sneak up on him, you can also stealth kill him and get a one-shot killing. He only has 1 tier of health, though, I believe, so he's not as difficult as the Samurai General is in terms of breaking the posture. Now, later on in the game, once you get past this point, there's like a bridge, and you descend into a valley, and there's a giant snake, which makes you focus on the stealth aspects of the games and sneaking past this snake. Otherwise, it'll just eat you. It's pretty blatant. It'll eat you. After this, in the demo, you finally reach that boss, which is the corrupted monk. You're fighting on a bridge with loads of like autumn leaves falling down, 4 trees around you, and straight away you notice that this boss has 3 tiers to their health, and you know this by the like 3 diamonds that are above its health bar. Now, once again, standard kind of procedure: learn the attacks, learn the swings, learn the abilities in each stage, and kind of go through. So the first one I just relied on I just relied on my parrying and other aspects of my character, and being able to use like the flame or the axe to kind of break the posture as quickly as possible. Now you do have a limited number of these, but once again I'll go back to those in a bit. Once you beat that boss, once you beat that level, you then go on to stage 2, which then adds new elements, just like any Fromsoftware game. Once you break a level and go into another one, new aspects of the fight come in, and you have to remember that stage and how to deal with that stage. I'm not going to discuss it too much because when it comes out, I don't want to ruin it for people playing that game, but I will say there are at least 3 ways to deal with this boss in stage 2. Now stage 3 is once again different, other things come into play, but once again, every single stage, if you want to get from stage 1 to stage 2, you've got to break the posture. If you want to get stage 2 to stage 3, you once again have to break that posture. At the end of that fight, on the 3rd time you break the posture, you can beat that boss. It is not easy. It took me about an hour and a half to beat the demo, and about 45 to 50 minutes of that was just playing the boss. Learning the boss's routines, learning when to swing and when to dodge, and when to block. You have the axe, which is a heavy-handed weapon which helps you break shields or guards. It's really good for staggering or increasing posture or trying to break the posture of certain enemies, and the fire does the same as well. For example, the Samurai General really doesn't like fire, so using that ability against the Samurai General is one thing that I utilised, and it helped me get through that situation. The one thing I'm curious about is if we only have a katana for the entire game. Is that the only main weapon we have? You know, do we get a kusarigama? Do we get other weapons like a staff or, you know, a hammer or anything like that, or even a daggers or just other things to utilise the abilities that we might get? But from what all I've heard and from what people have said, the katana is our main focal point, and that's going to be the weapon of choice for the entirety of the game. It's not like Dark Souls where you have a list of weapons you can just utilise based on your playing style. It's not like Bloodborne where you have guns and other things like that. It is, you know, more focused in what Fromsoftware have developed in hand with Activision. And I think Activision have played a big part in that decision to kind of focus the story and focus the character, and this is who that character is and this is how he fights, and that's how we're going to be playing the game, you know, using that main weapon. Now, just like in Dark Souls and Bloodborne, if you sit at one of these shrines, which is like a 4-armed blue shrine, if you sit at that shrine, just like all those other IPs that I've mentioned, the enemies do come back. So if you clear an area out and you sit at one of those shrines, all those guys are going to come back. So just be wary of that situation. And finally, I just want to talk about the overall feel of the game in itself, the environment and the world that they've created there from Fromsoftware. Now, I loved it. It's full of vivid colours, it's very bright, it's beautiful, different environmental touches, and it's kind of really nice to see them go for an Eastern culture aspect of the game rather than the Western culture aspects which we've seen in those other IPs. You know, it's full of classic Japanese architecture and like Japanese foliage and environments and armour and stuff like that. It is kind of akin to Nioh, but that's not surprising based on the era that it's made in and the fact it's a Japanese set game, you know. So I'm not saying it's a carbon copy of Nioh. By far, it's not, in no way even remotely close to how Nioh feels, the pace of the game, how the character moves. That has nothing to do with Nioh. I'm just saying about the era that it's set in, you know, the world that it's set in. It's very akin to Nioh, and that, to me, that's a positive. I love that world that they created. Now, overall, I will say that Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is going to be an absolutely incredible game. I will be getting it on the 22nd of March. I will be doing a playthrough of the game and probably even stream the first episode. I ain't too sure, but that's what I think I'm going to do. I will be doing also an unboxing for the collector's edition because I am getting that and I'm very excited to show people that and showcase it to anyone who's interested. I'm looking very much forward to this game. I'm a massive fan of Fromsoftware, and I can't wait to play it. I can't wait to find out the story and the ins and outs of it, and there probably will be more of a story than there has been in Dark Souls or even Bloodborne. So I can't wait for the 22nd. Please guys, leave a like, a comment, a share, and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video and it's been informative for you, and so that obviously you can stick around for my playthrough of Sekiro if you're interested in that. I'm Bodacious Gamer, you are my Bodacious viewers. Please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you around. Bye everyone.